photos. So we're very, very lucky that David's agreed to come back with a new tranche of wonderful photographic images. And I'm going to let David explain and exhibit the photos. So what's coming up first, David?
Well, I've been doing some traveling in the last few months, and I went to Bhutan. It's a trip which I had been hoping to do for quite a few years, but of course COVID got in the way, and Bhutan reopened on the 23rd of September last year. And a couple of days after that, we managed to get in and had a fantastic time. I enjoyed it so much that I've already booked to go back to Bhutan next November. Last time I went with a group. Next time I'm going independently. It's not cheap, but I just enjoyed it so much that I want to do it again. And then after Bhutan, I went to Brazil to see the Iguazu Falls, which are, apparently they make the Niagara Falls look like a dripping tap.
They do indeed.
I then went from Iguazu into Argentina, joined a group, and we went to Welsh Patagonia and also up into the Andes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We'll start off with Bhutan. And you might see quite a few pictures of this guy. This was day one in Bhutan, and we went, the trip was advertised as being walks and festivals in Bhutan. And we started off with a very nice gentle walk up to Dzongdracha, which is, it's known as the Tiger's Nest Mark II. It's sort of, you can see it in the background on the right-hand side.
Can we bring the photo up bigger, do you think? What do you think, Nang? Well, it's a bit small.
I'm clicking on original size there. That's original. Is that large enough, David?
No, it's not.
Well, I can't. All I'm seeing is what I'm showing.
Which is not large.
Let me check your computer, Eleanor. Maybe I should put you.
It's extremely large on my screen.
It is large on our screen.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, look at all these people. How lovely.
How about that?
Well, that's
I mean, it should be
the photo.
It should be filling the screen.
David, could you share? Could you just click to your photo again, or no? In which case, I have to go like that.
Oh, lovely.
Is that better?
Yeah. Has everyone got it in a large format?
Yes.
Okay. David and water bottle in Bhutan, I think.
David and water bottle in Bhutan, yes. And in the background here is Dzongdracha, which is a, as I say, it's Tiger's Nest Mark II. A lot of the temples and nunneries and monasteries in Bhutan cling to the side of mountains. One reason that we started off with a very short walk was because Bhutan is very high up. So I didn't have any problems at all with altitude sickness, but some people might do, because of course Bhutan is in the Himalayas. So you're starting off from a very high altitude, and if you're climbing up, you're going up even further. And you can see the monastery here. It is clinging to the side of the mountain.
Lovely. Oh, look at it.
Absolutely beautiful buildings. I mean, one of the things which is amazing about Bhutan is that everything it's still in use. It's still perfectly preserved.
Yeah.
So they're absolutely beautiful places. And one of the things about Bhutan is that there are basically very few modern buildings, and even modern buildings have to be designed using traditional Bhutanese architectural styles. So it is an absolute delight to visit Bhutan, and the people themselves. I've got quite a lot of photographs of people. They are wonderful people too. And one of the great things about Bhutan is that because there are, I think, 27 languages in the country, and its population is less than 1 million. The language of education is English. So you can even come across young children who can hold a little bit of a conversation in English with you.
Is it a monarchy? Am I right?
It is a monarchy, yes.
Right.
It became a monarchy. They're now on they call him the fifth king. So it became a monarchy about 100 years ago.
Right.
And it was brought together at the suggestion of the British, because apparently there was lots of dissension between the monks and others in Bhutan. And basically what the British said was, why don't you have a king? So they decided, yeah, we'll have a king. And the first king was an autocrat. But the third king decided he wanted to make it more democratic. And the fourth king made it even more democratic. And now, under the fifth king, they have a parliament. And apparently the parliament decides everything. And the king is just meant to be a ceremonial head of state, like in the UK. This is the dzong in Paro. Paro is the main entry into Bhutan. It's where the planes come in. It's the only international airport. And dzongs are fortresses. And they are now used as, they are the spiritual and administrative center of each region. So this is government offices. It's also got a monastery inside. It's an absolutely beautiful building.
Are most of the country worshipping? I mean, are they used?
Yes, it's very, very, very religious society. When we were in Bhutan, there was a group of about, I think there were 18 of us. So we were in 2 minibuses and we had 2 guides. And the guides were always dressed in national dress. And whenever we went into a temple or a monastery, they would prostrate themselves on the floor in front of the altar.
Were you able to take photos inside the monasteries?
No, you cannot take photographs inside any of the temples or monasteries. If you try to do that, basically they just shut down that particular place. And there was one instance several years ago, before the pandemic, where a tourist decided to take photographs, and they just said, right, no more tourists in any of the temples. So, I mean, they are quite beautiful inside, but you just take it in with your eyes, no photographs. But you can take photographs this is in the inner courtyard of Paro Dzong. And this is a young girl who is dressed in national dress. And all the Bhutanese, if they go into a dzong, they have to be wearing national dress. And of course, little girl, absolutely fascinated by what's on her mobile phone. Then she discovers she's being looked at. And this, I don't think that this was her brother, but this is brother and sister, and they were absolutely delighted to have their photographs taken. He is wearing a go, which is the men's national dress, and she is wearing a kira, which is the women's national dress. And everybody there was just beautiful to talk to. But there are monks everywhere, and they become monks at a very young age. And when you go into a temple, you take your shoes off. And so this monk was looking after all the shoes. I don't think he was terribly pleased with life. It's mainly an agricultural society, and the agriculture is done in very, very primitive methods. this old woman was winnowing the rice, and she bent over double, taking out all the chaff from the rice. And she was chewing cheese. The national sort of chewing gum in Bhutan is very hard cheese, which is sold in strings, and apparently it's very salty. We didn't try it. The lady who was leading our group, she's been to Bhutan many times. She first went there in, I think, 1970, and she didn't recommend us trying it. But there was her, possibly her daughter, who was winnowing the rice just with a stick. So as I say, very, very primitive.
Can you just, for my benefit, maybe others, just explain what winnowing is? It's the husk, is it?
Yeah, it's taking the getting the grains of rice away from the straw.
Okay.
This was one of the highest places that we went to. It was about 4,000 meters. It's a mountain pass where we were going to do another walk. In the background, you've got Jomol Hari, which is one of the highest mountains. I think actually Jomol Hari is in India. It's not in Bhutan. So we're looking to the west from this particular place, and everywhere you will see these prayer flags. The prayer flags are very common in Bhutan. They're also very common in Nepal. I've not been to Tibet, but you'll find them there too. They've got sutras written on them, and they blow in the wind, and they carry the prayers to the rest of the world on the wind.
Very romantic and beautiful. Our hero.
Our hero, yes. One of the things which was a problem for me in Bhutan, when I walk, like to walk in shorts. They've now brought in a new regulation in Bhutan that you can't go into a temple or a dzong wearing shorts. So I had to have zip off or zip on trousers. So whenever I went into a dzong or a temple, I had to take my boots off, zip the bottom onto my trousers, and then go in. And we discovered ourselves having to ford a rather precipitous mountain stream there. And then coming to, this time, it wasn't a monastery, it was a nunnery. And a beautiful place. And in the nunnery, they gave us the first time I'd ever had butter tea. It's tea which is made with yak's butter. It's very salty. Bit of an acquired taste.
Is that the fat from a yak?
Yeah. It's an interesting taste, let's put it that way. The food in Bhutan wasn't bad. It was quite good. I'll show you a little bit later the national dish. The national dish is chilies cooked in cheese. As I say, everything is done in sort of traditional Bhutanese style. Whether this was a genuine Pizza Hut or not, I don't know, but it was Pizza Hut in the Har Valley, which is where we went to see one of the festivals. And the people who participate in the festivals, they are all monks. And they wear very heavy wooden masks. And the dancing went on forever. And we were the only foreigners at this particular festival. It was pouring with rain, but everybody was there, all wearing their finery. It was a festival that went on for 3.5 days. We just stayed for half a day watching the festival. Absolutely wonderful clothing. And many of the dances have got sort of demons and gods in them, but just absolutely wonderful costumes. And all of the local people were sitting there with their umbrellas and their lunch boxes.
Does it have a rainy season?
Well, unfortunately, the rainy season was meant to be over by the time we got there, but the monsoon had lasted longer than normal. So we caught the end of it, which was a bit of a shame. Now, these were, obviously, these aren't monks. These are the local women. From time to time, the local women came on and danced. And the guy with the hooked nose mask in the background is an ajara. These are clowns. And these are also monks. And what might surprise you is that the ajaras, they carry large wooden phalluses. And if you're not doing something right, they will tap you on the shoulder with their wooden phallus and expect you to give them a little bit of money. And I hesitate to draw this to your attention, but he's carrying his wooden phallus in a rather obvious place.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now, this was an absolutely fantastic display. There were two monks who came out. One of them was with a boar's mask. And this one was with a deer's mask and the horns, and then there was some flags flying from his horns. As I say, it was pouring with rain. You can see that he's barefoot, and he was dancing for at least half an hour and leaping up into the air and landing down on the stone floor. Quite how they did him. The masks must weigh a ton, and the agility and the skill of being able to do this was quite astounding.
Do the monks officiate at weddings and funerals? I mean, what?
Probably at funerals. I'm not sure quite how they do weddings in Bhutan. We were told by our guides. One of them came from Eastern Bhutan, and in Eastern Bhutan they have a tradition of the young men going night hunting. And basically, night hunting is trying to get into the bedrooms of young ladies, and very often, as it being an agricultural society, they will wait until the woman is pregnant before actually getting married. And divorce is also quite easy in Bhutan. They're very, as you can see, I mean, this Ajara, it's not balloons he's got on his head. They're condoms, blown up condoms.
Oh,
And he's got his phallus coming out of a pump machine.
so are these fertility dancers?
No, they're not fertility dancers. That's one of the things I asked, whether all this, I mean, I'll show you a little bit later. You will get, it's very common to have a phallus painted on the side of buildings. And I asked, was this for fertility? And the answer is no. It's in honor of a particular, what was his name? Drakpa. I can't remember. Kunle Drakpa was his name. He was known as the divine madman. And he used to go around getting people pregnant and trying to, quite why he is considered to be divine, I never quite got to the bottom of, but apparently having phallic symbols all over the place is in honor of the divine madman. But even, you know, the young children, they are dressed beautifully. I mean, obviously, this is sort of like Sunday best. You will see children also wearing jeans, and but this is well, I'm not the divine madman. I'm just the crazy foreigner with the clowns. So an English clown with the Bhutanese clowns. The guy on my left, to the right-hand side of the picture, he's got a bag full of money, because that's what they do. They go around collecting money. So, you know, they'll tap you on the shoulder with their wooden phallus, and you give them a little bit of money.
And I noticed you haven't got an inflated condom.
No, left that at home. This is in the capital of Bhutan, in Thimphu. It is an absolutely massive Buddha. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit and then scroll down, and you can see monks here. So you can now get an idea of the size of this Buddha. It overlooks the valley that Thimphu, the capital, is in, and the plinth of the Buddha here is an absolutely stunning temple inside. There we are with Thimphu in the background, and this crazy man with his shorts.
These selfies were taken by other group members.
No, I got other people to take them for me. This is the capital, so it's not very big, but as you can see, it's very low rise. All of the buildings are done in traditional Bhutanese style, so it's very pleasant.
Do the colours of the buildings mean anything?
No, I don't think so. This was the view from my hotel bedroom window, and what I'm looking at here is a multi-story car park, and even the multi-story car park was designed in traditional Bhutanese style. This is a place called Dochela Pass, where if you are very, very lucky, you get to see an absolutely magnificent view of the high Himalayas. We got an absolutely magnificent view of the clouds. But there are 108, they're called chortans, they're like stupas, which have been created up here. It's a relatively new installation. It was installed by the king's grandmother, I think, and it was in celebration of a victory against some insurgents.
Is the monarchy hereditary?
Yes. Now, I mentioned that there are phallic symbols everywhere. This is when we went to Kunle Drakpa's, the area where his temple is, and phallus handicraft, and the rather obvious design on the side of the building. And
Cool.
for the Chai Yang restaurant, that's not what they serve, but that's what they have on the side of the building.
How grossly unappetizing.
Yes. But this was the lowest area that we got to. It's about 1,700 meters above sea level, so that's higher than Ben Nevis. But it's a tropical valley. They grow bananas and all sorts of other things there. But you've got these beautiful terraces of rice, and as I say, it was meant to be a festival and walking holiday. We didn't do as much walking as many of us had wanted to do, and one of my fellow travelers, he complained about the fact that there wasn't much walking. So they said, right, you've got the choice when we get to Punakha. You can do a short walk and go up to see a temple, and then in the afternoon you go to see the Dzong, or you can do an 8-hour walk, and you won't have time to see the Dzong. 4 of us decided we were going to do the 8-hour walk, and we went right up the side of a mountain. Probably the Bhutanese would call it a hill, but we got beautiful view on the way up. When we got to the top, there was nothing to see because we were in rainforest, and as you can see from this photograph, there was a lot of cloud and mist around.
What's their economy based on? Tourism?
Their economy is based on mainly on agriculture. They get a lot of money from tourism. Until last year, they used to charge $65 a day as a tourist tax. That has now gone up to $200 a day. So when I go back in November for 13 days, $2,600 of that, of my cost, will be the tourist tax. And this is the Dzong in Punakha. As I say, we were told if you do the 8-hour walk, you can't see the Dzong. So what we did was we got up to the top of the mountain, and it was a ridge that we were coming down. So it was quite gentle coming down. And we said, let's see if we can get down in time. And we got to the Dzong with 1 minute to spare.
Oh, God.
It's absolutely beautiful inside. I haven't got photographs inside because, as I say, you're not allowed to take photographs inside, but it was absolutely stunning inside. So it was well worth zapping down and getting there in time.
What percentage of the upper site with this photo of the population are monks?
Quite a large percentage. Quite a large percentage, I would say. I don't know how many monks there are, but obviously, there are nuns as well, but most of the religious people are monks. This was one temple we went to where they were practicing blowing the horns, and it is not a beautiful sound, I can assure you. It's quite loud. It's quite I don't know what word to how to describe it, but it's enough to waken the dead, unless you're a dog.
Well, maybe the dog is dead.
No, the dog was not dead. The dogs in Bhutan sleep all day, and they wake at night and bark. One of the things which I was very pleased, which I did when I went to Bhutan, I'd taken my earplugs with me. I've got custom-made earplugs, and some of the other members of our group were complaining about being kept up all night by the dogs. I slept like a baby.
Can I ask you, 2 photos back,
Yeah.
I thought one of the monks was holding a cross there on the right. Is that a cross? Oh, it probably not. No.
Oh, that's my cursor.
Yeah. Okay.
The people wearing orange suits are volunteers. During the pandemic, they set up a whole system of volunteers. And as we were visiting this particular monastery, the volunteers were giving an English lesson to the child monks. Well, it wasn't so much an English lesson, it was a spelling test. And some of the words that the teacher was giving were in Dzongkha, which is the national language. Some of them were in English, and he got them to spell awesome. So, of course, all of us, we kept on going, awesome, awesome. But you see that they're sort of rather lacking in schoolrooms and don't exactly have good places for the children to write. But they were all doing their lessons. But you know, big children being children, they're having fun.
What about police force in Bhutan?
Yes, they do have a police force. Can't remember. I think they wear a blue uniform. But they become monks, or many of them become monks at a very young age. They don't necessarily stay monks for the rest of their life. They may just have the education as a monk. So they will learn to read and write. They will learn to speak English. This is a very young monk who is being admonished by an older monk, but he was very much on the naughty.
Oh my goodness.
Oh dear, he was not very happy. This is the national dish, emadatsi. It's chilies cooked in cheese. And the lady who was leading our group, as I say, she first went to Bhutan in 1970. It's actually where her husband proposed to her. And they went back 5 years ago, and they renewed their vows as they were climbing up to Tatsang, which is the tiger's nest. And she kept on complaining because we were foreigners. They didn't bother to bring out the chilies and cheese, but she said, no, I want chilies and cheese. So most of us, we had our chilies and cheese for most meals. I must say on day 3, my walking was, how can I put it, jet propelled. But after that, my stomach sort of settled down and was okay. And this is Tatsang. This is the tiger's nest. And it is an absolutely stunning place to visit. It takes about 2 hours to climb up to get there. Halfway you can go by donkey, but the rest of the way you have to climb on foot and climb to the height where I am. And then actually to get to the temple itself, you have to go down and then go back up again. And there are about 13 temples inside the Tatsang monastery. And sadly, it was burnt down about 20, 30 years ago, and they've completely rebuilt it. How on earth they rebuilt it, well, how they built it in the first place, I've absolutely no idea. It's absolutely amazing. But when I go back to Bhutan in November, I plan to go back to Tatsang. It's worth the climb. In November, it should be in sunshine. We were very unfortunate. I mean, it was quite interesting because it was swirling in mist. But as we were coming down, it was just chucking it down with rain, which was great.
Do the monasteries have guest houses at all?
No, I don't think so. Certainly not for foreigners.
Okay. Oh.
And this, I think that this one on the right is Everest. That was the view on the plane coming back out of Bhutan into Kathmandu. I was very fortunate. I was the first in the queue from our group checking in for the plane. And I said, have you got a mountain view seat, please? And they gave me one. And the lady behind me also asked for a mountain view seat and was told he's just got the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely beautiful view. Right, I'm going to stop sharing there and then quickly zip. And oh, no, obviously got the wrong one. Share screen. Let's do that one. What can you see? Can you see Everest, or can you see
Waterfall.
Can you see a waterfall?
Yeah, but it's a small photo. Again, mine is anyway.
No, we can see the waterfall.
You can see the waterfall.
Waterfall, but down the left-hand side
Absolutely.
is a strip of photos.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the strip of photos. So this is in Brazil.
How do we get it large? Name, do you know?
It is large.
Oh,
You just
just not on my.
you just haven't slide your
Oh, I see.
screen to one
Okay,
side.
thanks. Oh, what a gorgeous photo.
Look
God.
at-
Yeah, I'm taking this photograph from Brazil, and where you see the waterfalls is Argentina. So the waterfalls are on the border of Brazil and Argentina. It's the largest complex of waterfalls in the world, Iguazu, on the Iguazu River, which eventually comes out into the River Plate at Buenos Aires. It's about 1 kilometer wide. Absolutely stunning place to visit. I haven't been to the Niagara Falls. I've been to the Victoria Falls, and this just knocks the Victoria Falls into a cocked hat. I believe the Niagara Falls are very impressive, but this is just much, much bigger.
Wonderful photographs. They really are.
And this is taken actually from the river itself. I took a boat ride on the river, and they warned me beforehand, you will get wet. So I was in swimming trunks and a t-shirt. And here we are approaching the falls. And that was the closest I could get to taking a photograph, because we went into the fall and you were just completely drenched. And I thought, okay, they're taking us into the falls once. No, they turned round, they took us in again. I thought, okay, twice. They took us in 7 times. You can see people in front of me, they're wearing sort of rain capes and that type of thing. I was wearing just my, as I say, t-shirt and swimming trunks and a life vest. And I was absolutely drenched. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Was the water icy cold?
It was freezing, absolutely freezing. But the following day, I went high up on the Brazilian side to try to take photographs of them going into the waterfalls. Now, I'm not sure whether...
Oh,
yeah, toucan, yes. It looks as though it's snow on the trees, but I think it's a silver birch.
oh,
And this was on the Argentine side. I did take some photographs on the Argentine side, but what fascinated me on the Argentine side was the wildlife, or at least the butterflies. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. And this young woman, she had a butterfly landed on her fingers, and she was just walking around with the butterfly, and it just didn't move.
what are the bubbles on her nails, or is that just
That is just bubbles on her nails.
okay?
She had really weird nail varnish and nail accoutrements. Absolutely stunning. And driving along the road on the Argentine side, there were just yellow butterflies everywhere. We were just going through butterflies. It was amazing. But this is on the Brazilian side, and you've got the waterfall in the background, and it was beautiful sunshine. Overnight, there had been a massive amount of rain further up the river. So there was about twice as much water coming over the waterfalls on the second day as there were on the first. And this is a sort of causeway that goes out over the top of what is called the Devil's Throat. The Devil's Throat on the Argentine side, normally you can go underneath and sort of actually be right underneath the waterfall. But I don't know whether it's because of the lack of maintenance during the pandemic, but the walkway in the Devil's Throat on the Argentine side has been washed away, and so until they repair it, it wasn't open. But this on the Brazilian side was open. I had seen people there the previous day and saw them getting terribly wet, so I decided when I went down there that I would wear my raincoat. Raincoat was absolutely no use whatsoever. I was absolutely drenched even inside my raincoat. This is the following day, one of the boats going into the falls. And because there was so much water coming over, they only went in once or twice for safety reasons. It was obviously just too dangerous for them to go in more frequently. But a beautiful sunset. This is after I managed to get back to the hotel and dry myself off. And this was 2 minutes walk from the front door of my hotel. Beautiful, beautiful place to be. And then suddenly I'm right in the south of Argentina, in Trevelin, which is part of Welsh Patagonia. And because there are so many Welsh people or people of Welsh descent in the area, the local tourist office has got a Welsh dragon on its roof. And the Welsh dragon, of course, being a dragon, breathes flames. And as I was walking past this place, somebody stopped and he turned round to me, very obviously a local person, and he said, Borada, not buenos dias, but Borada, which is Welsh for good day. Then we went on this is now only used for tourist purposes, but these used to be the railway line, which went from a place called Esquel, which is where we were staying in Welsh Patagonia, up through the mountains to join the main railway line, which goes along the side of the Andes. It took us about an hour to go only a few miles. Narrow gauge railway, and it took us to the middle of nowhere. It just gives you an idea of how huge the country was and how difficult communications were. Railways now in Argentina are pretty much extinct, apart from places like this, or very close into the Buenos Aires area. I think there is a railway line that goes from Buenos Aires to Mendoza, but it takes a very long time. Most of the travel these days in Argentina is done either by coach or by airline. And that was our evening meal.
That was just your portion, was it?
That was just my portion, yeah. I put on quite a lot of weight while I was
Really?
there. And then in Mendoza, we visited, the trip to Argentina was billed as being wine and astronomy. Originally, the trip that I'd booked to go to Argentina was to see a total eclipse of the sun in December 2020. But of course, because of the pandemic, that didn't happen. But we decided, yeah, we would still like to go. A bunch of people who'd already booked to go to the original one. And we said, instead of it being just for a, for a total eclipse of the sun, let's have do some wine visiting. So we went to Mendoza, which is the capital of wine in Argentina. And during the morning, we went to 3 different wineries. And of course, when you go to a winery, you have to taste the wine. This was Bodega Benegas, which has lots of little parcels of vineyards all over Mendoza. And it's a very traditional bodega. They've got all of the barrels of wine in a cellar. And we started drinking the wine at 10:30 in the morning. This is another winery, a place called Mal. And Mal it's obviously a play on words on Malbec, but it was also, I think it was Marco and Alejandro, 2 guys who got together, who created this particular winery. And they do only Malbec, but it's in a stunning location. What was very surprising was that a lot of the vats in which the wine fermented are made of concrete. And apparently concrete is very good for wine fermentation because it breathes, rather unlike stainless steel, which doesn't breathe. And this was the last of the wineries that we went to, and took this photograph because it was very interesting. You might be able to see that the vine leaves are actually being held back by netting. The reason for this is they get very changeable weather in Mendoza, and quite often you get hail. And if you get hail when the fruit is beginning to ripen, it will destroy the crop. And apparently, by doing it behind netting, will preserve the crop.
I think we've got a question in chat from Julian Bloom.
Yeah.
Did you see the little rodent type animals on the way from oh, this is going back to Iguazu. Okay. We'll have to come back to that question. Thank you, Julian.
I did see caracara, which is a South American bird. It's a sort of a raptor, a hawk-like bird. We were stopping for lunch, and there were several caracaras flying backwards and forwards, and I managed to capture this one in flight. And there he was having a little bit of a rest. And guanacos, they're related to llamas.
Do they have one black ear and one white ear?
No, I don't think so. It's the inside of the ear is black, whereas the outside is a whiter color. They're quite delicious.
Oh, okay.
Talking about little rodents, I spent quite a long while when we were at one of the observatories that we visited, hoping to get a photograph of a rhea, because some of the people in our group in a different vehicle managed to get a wonderful view of a rhea. And so I thought, there are rheas in this area. I will stay up there on top of this little hill and try and get a photograph of rheas. And all I got was a photograph of this.
Chinchilla?
No, it's quisp. What's quisp? Guinea pig.
Oh, right.
If I was in Peru, I would have been eating it. Peruvians eat guinea pigs. It's very, very bony. Tastes like chicken. This was taken from one of the observatories that we visited. And what was fascinating about it, we were high up in the Andes, between the pre-Andes range and the main Andes range. And then in the middle, it's sort of rather like a desert. As you can see, sort of going from my chest out there it's like a river valley, which has got trees along it, but Then in the background is salt flats, where they do a lot of wind sailing.
I'm conscious. How many more photos?
We're nearly done.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a few people will have questions. These are just beautiful. God.
Just the Andes. That's the observatory that we were at. I think that the photograph here, it might be, it's either Aconcagua. Yes, this is Aconcagua, which is the highest. I think that it may be the what looks like the small mountain in the background, but it's higher. It's the highest mountain in the Andes. And a really strange modern crucifix Christ statue with radio masts coming out of his hands.
Beautiful, beautiful statue.
Beautiful statue, but most unusual.
Looks enormous.
Yeah, it was enormous. And we were reminded most of the time that Las Malvinas, the Falklands, on Argentinas. This was the back of the minibus that we were in. And this is the seven-colored mountain.
Oh.
With the Andes in the background.
So would this have been a water thing originally? I mean, it looks like
it's the various strata. I don't know what they've been made up of, but they call it the seven-colored mountain.
Oh, beautiful.
And this is the cathedral in La Plata. We didn't go back to Buenos Aires. We only had a night in Buenos Aires. Didn't really see Buenos Aires at all. And we stopped off in La Plata on the way back. We went right up to the top of one of the towers. Fortunately, it's in a lift. And from the top, looking down to the plaza, again, it's the outline of the Falkland Islands. And
yes. Yeah.
Volveremos a Malvinas de la mano de América Latina. We will return to the Malvinas, to the Falklands, by the hand of Latin America. So they're very much conscious of they want the Falklands. They say they want them back, but they were never Argentine in the first place. And on the very last night that we were in La Plata, I got some pesos left over, so I decided to go out and try and spend it, and instead got caught up in the celebration of the Argentinians winning their first match in the World Cup.
Oh, lovely.
And the place just went completely wild. And they just came into the middle of the road, didn't give it two hoots about, well, they gave lots of hoots, but they didn't care at all about the traffic. The traffic just had to go round them, and a lot of the traffic was just stopped completely. And that is your lot.
David, I can't tell you how well I think they're just stupendous photos. And I don't know, I know we've got one question from Julian, if he's unmuted.
Yeah, we'd also been to Iguazu some years ago, and there is this creature there, I don't know, about a foot long, called a coati.
Oh yes, so lots and lots of coatis.
Yeah, fabulous. Seeing creatures
they're sort of
that
like,
don't exist anywhere else.
On the way down to the falls.
Yeah, they're like raccoons.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a stripy tail.
Yeah, I was sort of walking down by the hotel, and suddenly they started just a whole family of them came across the path.
Be with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Was that the Pink Hotel?
Yes, it's an absolutely wonderful hotel. Hotel
of
das
course.
Cataratas.
Yes. And,
It's
and they close the national park at 6 o'clock. So all the other tourists have gone, and you walk down to the falls and you are the only persons there.
Yeah.
That was stupendous.
Yeah, it's absolutely lovely. I had the choice of staying either on the Argentine side or on the Brazilian
Yeah.
side. And people who had been to Iguazu before said, "Oh, stay on the Brazilian side."
It was worth it.
And I
Definitely.
looked across the river, and you could see the hotel in the Argentine National Park, and it looked like it was
It was
looked
like a basic falling.
It
was
looked
horrible.
like a cell block from
Yeah,
East
Yeah.
European
Yeah.
barracks or something like that.
absolutely horrible. And your comparison between Iguazu and Niagara Falls, Niagara is still stupendous, but about a quarter the size, if that.
Really.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Just one horseshoe, really.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Must go there one day.
Wonderful
Still
picks,
lovely.
David. Thank you.
I
Thank
think the place you must go to photography, well, it is Petra. I think that was.
Oh, I would love to go to Petra. Yeah, I mean, I've when we were chatting before we started, I'm actually going back to Brazil in May, going to the Pantanal, which is the wetlands close to the Bolivian border, and it's apparently one of the best places to see jaguars. And then in June, I'm hoping if they get enough people to join the group, going on a walking holiday to Georgia in the Caucasus, and then back to Bhutan in November. And I've already lined up April of next year, 2024, going to Brazil, not to Brazil, to Mexico. There is another total eclipse of the sun. So I'm hoping to go with the same group. We had an absolutely wonderful professor of astrophysics from Oxford University who is a wonderful travel companion, and also, obviously professor of astrophysics, just terribly knowledgeable about the whole thing. I'm not keen on observatories or anything like that, but to see a total eclipse of the sun is just an absolutely fabulous experience.
I think you've just talked yourself back into at least one or two visits this year. They're just brilliant, David. I so look forward to. They're just a visual feast. And
well, I used to do talking travel, but I've tried to encourage other people to talk about their travels, and maybe we need to get more people from the U3A to talk about their travels now that people are able to start traveling again, because it is. We've got a wonderful world out there, and I'm sure there are plenty of other people who've got absolutely brilliant photography. And even if you don't have brilliant photographs, just talking about the place and explaining the experiences that you've had.
in the last few minutes, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, David. What did you want to say something?
No.
Now, I was just wondering if anybody else had any questions for David.
I just wanted to ask David, I didn't get the largest waterfall, the extent, if you can tell me.
Yeah, it's about a kilometre wide.
That's what I thought you said. I wasn't sure. Thank you.
They're
They're marvellous photographs. I really congratulate you, and wonderful talk. Lovely
This
talk.
talk was very interesting for us. You could ask him a question.
David, I have a question.
Yeah.
You're certainly very lucky to get those fantastic photographs in Bhutan. It's sandwiched between China in the north and India in the south. China is the neighbor from hell to all countries, possibly with the exception of Russia and North Korea. Did you, did the locals discuss anything? Because China is encroaching a lot into northern Bhutan at the moment.
Is it?
And creating a lot of tension in that part of the world.
No, they didn't say anything about China. They talked quite a bit about the Assamese, because there were Assamese separatists who based themselves inside Bhutan for a long time. And one of the, I think that the Chortans at Dochela were created after they kicked out the Assamese. And one of the stories which we had about the being able to do that was that the king, I think it was the fourth king, he actually disguised himself as a farmer, and he went in amongst the Assamese and started distributing oranges amongst them. And therefore he was able to see how big their group was, and was able to organize the way of attacking them and throwing them out.
Well, I think the Chinese challenge will be much greater than the Assamese.
I'm sure it will be, yeah. I mean, the thing is that Bhutan is the size of Switzerland, but it has 1/10 of the population. Population of Bhutan is 800,000.
Well, our time is up, but it's just, it's just been brilliant, and thank you for agreeing to come back again and again and again. And judging from what people have said, it's not just me that's entranced, but they're brilliant photos and very, very good dialogue to go with it. So
It's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Enjoy your further trips, and we look forward to seeing them.